we ask God to help us, to give us wisdom for the day, to give us enlightenment for the day. And that helps you just fuel your life, because now you're not here anymore. You're fueling yourself. You're fueling your center. You're fueling the things that help you make the right decisions. This is how you become more in tune with your intuition. This is how you become the muse of your life, is that you have to be in touch with that source, that inner being, that inner knowing. And in order to do that, you have to feed your soul. You have to feed your spirit. Hello, my beautiful muses, and welcome back to this week's episode. It is spring, or at least spring feels like it's coming. It's in the air, and I am so excited because I love the warmer weather. Winter is a time for me to always have more reflection in my life and more slowing down. And so like now I'm ready to blossom and bloom, and everything's blooming and everything's blossoming. And so I wanted to make this video so that we can get into this magnetic rhythm and alignment that we know we need and want and we desire in order to get everything that we want. We want to become magnetic to the things that we desire the most. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a few things that I do to get into this like magnetic zone. And I hope that it helps you and it resonates with you, and that you can step into spring ready to completely full throttle become the best version of yourself and the muse of your life. So let's get started. First thing that I would do, and that I actually just did recently, is like I reevaluated even what I wanted 3 months ago. So the beginning of the year, there's this new energy of starting something new, and it's a new blank page and a blank canvas. And we have all these goals and these ambitions and these things that we want. Being a very type A, masculine energy type person that loves to get things done, I used to start something in the beginning of the year, say I wanted something, and then I would hold myself so accountable to it that even if I didn't resonate with it anymore throughout the year, I still stayed stuck on that energy. And what I realized is that some things are fluid and some things are not. And so now there's certain things and intentions and goals that I have for the year that are just not going to move. They're not going to go anywhere. Like I want to start my business, I started my business. I want to have a successful business. That doesn't change. I'm getting married. I want a wonderful partnership with my husband to be. That doesn't change. I want to get physically healthy and happy in my body. That doesn't change. But a lot of the things and ways that maybe we get to those places, or that we wanted maybe outside of the bigger picture things, sometimes change. And allowing that fluidity to actually just make changes and change things in your life can become so powerful, more than you expect. Because what happens is, if you're still doing something and you're taking actions in your life based on something you thought you wanted, but now you're not an energetic match for anymore, there's going to be so much resistance, and you're going to feel like swimming against the current. You're hitting the same walls over and over again. And so as spring is here, I want you to really just assess, am I in alignment to the things that I wanted at the beginning of the year? Kind of go through everything, ask yourself, is this something I still want? How do I want it? How does it make me feel? Maybe you started a hobby and you didn't love it. Maybe it's time to find another hobby. Reassess every area of your life and like things that you maybe wanted at the beginning of the year that you might not be in alignment to now. And when I say every area of your life, I really do mean like your relationship with yourself, your relationship with others, your career/business, your love life. If you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship, like what things do you want to come out of your love life, your health, your body, your physical appearance? What do you want out of that? Really get in detail with what it is that you desire. And I don't believe in like New Year's resolutions, because I feel like for most people, it already fizzled out and people have already lost some momentum. And I believe in just picking back up whenever you feel called to, whenever you feel this time to actually blossom and just go for it, right? And so if you're feeling this energy like I am now in spring, get ready to become so magnetic to all your desires, especially if you take even one or two things from this video. You will become so magnetic and in alignment to the things that you want that you won't even know what to do with yourself. It's happened to me over and over again. And I realized that it's like the perfect trifecta of being in alignment with my mind, body, and spirit/soul. And I'm going to get into more details on that. And this is why when I show up for myself every morning and I talk about it on social media, I try to do those 3 things every single morning. And so every morning I try to feed myself in these 3 different areas. And I feel like it makes a big difference in my day, because everything starts to flow. And it's almost always the times that I let go of myself in any of these 3 areas that things start to feel a little stuck, a little sticky, or things that are not flowing as much. And every time that I just go back to let me get back into alignment with myself, things start to flow and I become even more magnetic. And so mentally, what I want you to think about is, okay, in my mind, what fuels my mind? What actually enriches my mental state? And this could be reading a book for you. This could be listening to a podcast. This could be actually nothing, disconnecting, not thinking. A lot of us live in overwhelm, overthinking. And so what feels really good in your mind that you don't do often enough and that you should probably purposely do more of in your mind? Because this really just navigates everything else. If you don't have a healthy mind, your body won't feel healthy, your soul won't feel healthy, the things that you do won't feel healthy or good. And so it all starts with your mind. I really, truly believe that. So ask yourself, how can I feed my mind more in a healthy way? For me, I do listen to a podcast or something educational or something inspirational. It depends on what energetic level I'm in. When I'm go mode, I'm listening to something educational. I'm feeding my mind consistently because it makes me feel good. It enriches my life. It enriches my purpose. That's how I'm able to help so many women. And that's how I'm able to learn so much so quickly, is because I'm consistently and constantly feeding myself. Now, the days that I have lower energy or that I feel like I'm at capacity and I'm just like overwhelmed myself, that's when I listen to something that's going to be more soul enriching, but is still helping my mind. And what I mean by that is that I'll listen to a scripture, or I'll listen to somebody talk about God, or I'll listen to somebody that's more on a soul level, more enriching, like a podcast or a YouTuber or somebody that's talking about like life things that really enriches my soul, but it clears out the clutter in my mind. It clears out the overwhelm. It helps me see a different perspective in life. And so get really clear on what it is that you need. I do believe that at any given time, we need one or the other. Sometimes we do one too much or the other and we feel stuck. And so if you're constantly listening, this happened to me. I was like in information overload. I was just consistently and constantly just throwing stuff at myself. And I felt so overwhelmed because I had no time to actually process or implement the things that I was learning. And so I've learned this like yin and yang game with myself. Okay, I'll learn a little. I'll implement, I'll feed my mind with other things that also feel good, but it's not like I'm learning and having to feel like I'm consistently needing to up level in some way. There's some things that you'll learn. They're just are there to help you shift perspective, to help you understand life better, to help you love yourself a little more, to help you love other people a little bit more. And so with your mind, get really clear on, okay, where can I better my mind and my thoughts, right? Our thoughts, we live in our heads most days. We live in our mind most of the time. And so that needs to be a healthy place that you can come back to. And whenever it's not healthy, find ways to make that healthy. Like really get good at recognizing, wait, I'm overthinking, or I'm overanalyzing, or I'm living in fear, or I'm living in doubt, or I'm living in anxiety. All that starts here. You feel it in your body, but like anxiety, depression, all of that starts in your mind. And so ask yourself, like, where am I feeling stuck and where can I move this energy? How can I move my mental energy to a more positive place? And then let's get down to our bodies, okay? Our bodies are so important because if we don't feel good physically, we're not going to want to do a lot of things, right? For me, I feel really good when I move my body, when I go to the gym, when I have a good sweat session, when I go on walks. When I move my body, I feel really good. It helps me move energies around. It helps me move stress around. It helps me remove the overthinking. It helps me move things energetically, whether I'm having a rough day or whatever it is, it helps me move things. And so in my body, that feels really good. But that's not the only thing that makes people feel good. Sometimes for people, it is slowing down and meditating, not moving, just sitting, just being. I've been wanting to do that more. That's one of my intentions, or is one of my intentions this year, but I've let that go the last few months. It's just being intentional of having time to do nothing. And I want to extend those periods that I do nothing because it's hard for me to do. So I know that's a challenge that I want to keep giving myself, but I do believe my body will receive that and it'll make me in alignment with other things more. And so ask yourself, in your body, where are you not feeling good? And I'm not just saying on a physical level, like, oh, I'm a little chubby, or I don't feel good, or my hair is not the greatest. Not on a physical level, on a body level. If you are heavier, what would make you feel better? Would it make you feel better to start walking, to move your body more, to feel good physically? But more importantly, what part of my body needs attention? Sometimes we carry tension in our backs. Maybe you need a massage. Maybe you need to do a little bit more stretching. I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been feeling really stiff in my body. And so I've been like stretching a lot more and rolling myself with a foam roller. And so physically, you want to be feeling your best. And I will touch on the physical, like appearance side of it, because I believe that is a fact too. I believe I am the most magnetic and the most aligned when I feel really good in my body, when I'm wearing the clothes that I want to wear, when I feel happy that my body looks a certain way. That's when I feel the most magnetic and aligned, for sure. I think that's the truth for most of us. And so I do want to talk about appearance too, because when we think about how we show up in the world and how we look, I want you to ask yourself, am I proud of how I look and how I portray myself to the world and to the people around me? Not because you're needing validation or attention from other people, but because you truly feel proud of yourself and the way that you present yourself out in society, out in the world. This comes with a lot of intention and a lot of thinking before you do things, right? Or you show up places or you do whatever. I do believe that it takes attention, money, time, and consistency and all those things to have the body that you want and also look good physically and present yourself in a way that feels really good to you. But it does start now. I think a lot of women, we wait to lose the 10 pounds before we buy ourselves the clothes that we want, or we wait till I make more money so I could be deserving of things. And the truth is that if you don't feel good right now, those things are going to take longer. Maybe it's not the shirt or the blouses that you want to be buying because you want better material and things, but there are ways that you could still buy and look the way that you want to now. And I challenge you and urge you to start asking yourself, how can I start doing that now? And how can I show up and feel my best and look my best when I go to places? Because that's all energy. If you walk into a place with the clothes that you've had for 5 years, you're maybe a little overweight, you're not going to walk with your head up high, you're not going to stare people in the eyes, you're not going to make eye contact, you're not going to smile, you're not going to feel confident, you're not going to feel really good about yourself. And so ask yourself, how can I show up to places and do things that actually feel really good and really aligned with how I feel about myself or how I want to feel? Maybe you're not feeling the best yet, but you want to become in alignment to those things. So ask yourself, how can I start doing that now? It's also been like little things. Like I used to just leave the house with my hair all crazy and I'll brush it and stuff. And that's terrible, but I did, and I would do that often because I have like long hair and it's pretty. And I thought that like the toss crazy looked not too bad. So I was like, I'll just leave and go somewhere like that. Or sometimes I would just not even try to put any makeup on. And not that I don't love my body or face or anything without makeup or looking a certain way. It's not about not loving yourself. It's about how you present yourself to people. And I realized that when I took the extra 5 to 10 minutes to brush my hair, maybe put a little concealer on the dark circles because I haven't slept much the last 3 days, do a little lip gloss, I just felt better. And so I showed up with a different energy to places. As simple as going to the grocery store. If you're looking a little hot, messy, you're not going to want to see people. You're probably going to be hiding behind a hat and not wanting to show up. But if you're like, oh, I feel good about myself and I took an extra 5 minutes for myself before I left, you're going to show up to places and people and you're going to want to talk to them. They're going to give you compliments. You're going to become magnetic. I cannot tell you how many times I go to places and I get compliments on my hair, my nails, my face, the lip gloss I'm wearing, my clothes. And there's times where I'm like, I wasn't even like trying that hard today. Like I wasn't trying to look extra pretty, but I think it's just the energy of me being, I want to take an extra 5 to 10 minutes on my physical appearance and look my best and feel my best. And that's the key. It's not, I need this because without this, I won't look good or feel good. It's I get to and I choose to show up for myself like this. And I want to show up in other places feeling and looking my best. And so physically and body wise, I would ask yourself and take some inventory of where can I do that better? Even if you work from home, I work from home and every day I do something, like a little something. I brush my hair. I make sure that I put a little concealer on. I want to look good when I look in the mirror, not like, oh, who's that person looking back at me? I don't want to look like, oh man, I'm not even happy to look at myself in my own house, in my own mirror. Even if you work from home, that's not an excuse to not show up for yourself and not feel really good about yourself, right? And of course, there's going to be days that you're crazy and that things are happening and maybe you won't have a lot of time for yourself. But I think if you set the intention of, I get to show up for myself today and I choose to show up for myself today, your energy and everything else will change. How you show up to do things will change. How you talk to people will change. And that's all in alignment. That makes you magnetic. More magnetic than anything in the world is when you show up for yourself. When you show up for yourself, it makes you more magnetic than anything in the world. I promise you.
That stress that you're feeling, the overwhelm that you're feeling, the anxiety that you're feeling, it's all normal. And actually, so many women, we experience this on a daily basis. I know I did. For years, I was either overwhelmed with my emotions, of reacting to them, or I was numbing them and trying to escape the uncomfortableness of the emotions. And for the last 6 years, all I've done is create emotional mastery within myself, learn to love my emotions, process my emotions. And I created a free 4-step guide to help you do the exact same thing. You will learn to recognize your emotions, process your emotions, release your emotions, and then communicate your emotions to those closest to you so that you can cultivate healthy relationships with others, but most importantly, with yourself. The link is right here. Sign up now.
All right. And the last one is like soul and spirit. And what I mean by that is what fuels your soul? Is it listening to your favorite music? Is it having a dance party alone at home? Is it having alone time? Is it going on nature walks? Is it playing with your dog? Is it playing with your cat? Is it playing with your kids? Is it going on a girls' trip? Is it going out to lunch with a girlfriend? Is it going out to walk with a girlfriend? Is it reading the Bible with your spouse like me? Is it going to church every Sunday? There's things that are going to fuel your soul and your spirit, and you know it when it's happening, and you know that it feels really good. And sometimes those are the things that we get the laziest with. It's the third one in my video here, but it should not be the third one in your life, because it's the thing that fuels your soul and your spirit. And we're spirits. Our physical appearance and our bodies are just an avatar. And so when we start to think of what really fuels my soul and my spirit, we get to the third dimension. We start tapping into the spirit world, God, the higher source. Everything that we want is there. And so when we fuel ourselves and feed ourselves spiritually and in a soul level, that's going to get you all the things you desire quicker than everything else. Not because you have to do those things, but because you want to do those things and they enrich your life. I realized for myself that I was so disconnected spiritually. Like I had let go of my relationship with God probably like all my 20s basically, after I left my mom's house. And it wasn't until recently, until the last couple of years, that I've had a closer relationship with God, and I keep cultivating that and getting closer to God, and it fuels my spirit. We go to church every Sunday, or we watch it at home. Usually we try to go and actually make it a point to get up, get dressed up, wear my best clothes for God, go and show up and thank Him for all the great things that He does, and feel a deeper connection with Him. I try to pray in the morning with TJ and read the Bible. We haven't been doing this so consistently lately because of me. It's been hard for me to wake up here in the morning lately, but things that fuel your soul is where it's at, and it helps you just set the tone for the day. When I read with TJ and we have a little prayer before our day starts, I feel like, wow, we thanked God for all our blessings. We had so much gratitude in our heart. First thing in the morning, we fed ourselves on a soul level, and we asked God to help us, to give us wisdom for the day, to give us enlightenment for the day. And that helps you just fuel your life, because you're not here anymore. You're fueling yourself. You're fueling your center. You're fueling the things that help you make the right decisions. This is how you become more in tune with your intuition. This is how you become the muse of your life, is that you have to be in touch with that source, that inner being, that inner knowing. And in order to do that, you have to feed your soul, you have to feed your spirit. We live in a society that's not very easily done nowadays. Instead of fueling our soul and our spirit, we rather get on social media, we rather get the quick dopamine and just do this fast and get the likes here and the likes there and get attention, or be constantly on the go. And we feel like that fuels us, and that doesn't really fuel us. That doesn't fuel us to a deeper level, and it doesn't allow us to get to know ourselves to a deeper level, because our attention is going outward versus inward. And so I would say that those three things are the main things that I have done to become magnetic to the things that I want. And I feel like they've helped me so much in my life, and I'm constantly evolving and growing these. And this is a lot of what I will teach in the Muse Mastermind. So if you're interested, there's more information in the bio and in the podcast description. I truly believe that this is an ever evolving thing for us women, and that we have to have other women in our space, in our lives, that help remind us of these things, because we forget them easily. We forget ourselves easily. Showing up for ourselves doesn't come second nature when we have so many other people to take care of and so many other people to love. And so in the Muse Mastermind, in my mentorship, I am going to help you and remind you and help you lead yourself to showing up for yourself consistently, to love yourself on a deeper level, get to know yourself on a deeper level, so you can become magnetic and in alignment to all the things you desire. And that's just one portion of it. We go through everything that makes you the muse of your life, the healthy relationships, breaking the toxic patterns, understanding your cycles and your patterns, and you're creating healthier habits, doing all the things that really makes you feel good on a daily, consistent basis, how to deal with the highs, how to deal with the lows, how to understand yourself emotionally. I can go on and on. We dive into it all. So if you want more information, it's down in the description. And I will say this before I end the episode. Another thing that will make you super aligned to your desires and make you the most magnetic ever is learning the art of detachment. I'll probably do a whole episode on this. I've touched on it a few times before in other episodes, but detaching from the things that you want energetically will get them to you quicker and faster. You take the actions, you understand what you want and what your desires are, you know exactly where you're going, then you take the actions to get there, and then you go distract yourself and detach from them completely and let that energy work itself out. Let God put His magic on it, let God put His hand on it, and you go do something else and be there to receive it. Be so aligned that you're there to actually receive it, so that when you get the things that you want, you actually feel good about them. For a long time, I used to get all the things that I wanted, or I thought I wanted, and I never felt happy about them. And I realized that it was because I was so attached to the outcomes and the things that even when I got them, they still didn't fulfill me. And so the art of detachment is literally that. Put it into existence, put it out there. I want X, Y, and Z. I desire these things. I am worthy of these things. These things will happen for me. Put in the actions, put in the steps, and then walk away from them. And I know that's easier said than done, but this is why you need multiple things in your life. This is why you need a supportive group of women. This is why you need mentorship. This is why you need things, not because you lack them, but because they're there to remind you of these powers. They're there to remind you to do these things for yourself. They're there to remind you that you're not alone and that you don't need anything or any attachment to anything to work out exactly how you need them for you to be happy and for you to be whole with yourself. And so that is so powerful. If you struggle with detaching from things, it's probably because you're in your head a lot. So go back to the very beginning part of this video and go back to like, how can I feed my mind so that I don't overthink, so that I can stop that vicious cycle of overthinking or thinking I'm not good enough or doubting myself. Because if you're stuck with attaching yourself to a certain outcome, it's because you're up here and you're not in your body and you're not in your soul. And you're not feeding yourself in these three things every single day. And they could start small. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to do 1,000 things at once. Start small and then add and compound the good. And I promise you that this will work wonders and that you will feel the most aligned and the most magnetic. If you've tried any of these or you will try any of these and you start to see the results, leave me a comment. Let me know how that felt for you. Let me know what resonated from this video for you. I would love to hear from you guys. And of course, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you're listening to this on my podcast, please leave me a review. It means so much to me, and it also help other women like you find my videos and find my podcasts. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.